Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome. We've got a fantastic topic for you today. We're talking all about social media and practice tips for how you can be effective in your social media practice for your music studio or music online business. So, most of you out there who are watching have business pages for your studios or for your online courses. And, it takes a lot of time and effort to keep these pages going. And I know that it can be frustrating when you spend a lot of time, putting together posts or, doing live videos and you find that they've fallen flat and that people aren't paying attention to them, or you get frustrated because you're like, man, I'm spending all this time doing this stuff and I'm not really seeing any results from it. Or when that happens, and let me know if this sounds familiar because I've been here, when you get frustrated and you're not seeing results immediately, then it can be really, really easy to think, you know what, I'm just not going to waste my time with this anymore. And then your social media pages go dormant, and then they're seriously not effective because nothing's happening on them. So it can be this like all in gung ho, I'm going to do all the thing. And then if it doesn't work out, then you start to notice, I'm just not going to waste my time. And then you're not doing anything on that page. So if you've been in that boat and you've experienced that kind of frustration with running a business page on Facebook or Instagram, let me know. And stick around because I've got tips for you guys that are going to help you tap into your skills as a music teacher, your practice skills, and that will help make your social media posts more effective, more consistent, and more authentic. So stick around. I'm going to be talking about that. Welcome to the broadcast, everybody. I see some people saying hello right now. I see Dawn and Elizabeth saying greetings from Central New York. Barbara has got lattes and leaves up in Saskatchewan. Heather Nelson, nice to see you. Consistency is my biggest problem. Okay, so yeah, consistency is key. And we're going to talk about how we can use our skills as a music teacher and our knowledge with the instruments that we teach, and how we can put that into our social media and become really effective and consistent with our posts. So, good morning, everybody. Hello, Holly and Jimmy. Nice to see you. Okay, Elizabeth said, I deleted one completely. Yes, I understand, right? Okay, so let's talk about best practices. All right, so we're going to talk about all this good stuff. But before I do that, I want to let you know that I've got the Coach Sarah bot ready to go this week, and she has some tips to send you. So if you'd like to get a hold of those right now, I want you to drop a social below. The Coach Sarah bot will message you here on Facebook, and then she'll ask you to message her again, and she'll send you the information, because I've got some really exciting things happening. I've got a masterclass that's coming up, and if you want to get information about the pre-sale about that, you definitely want to make sure that you talk to the bot today. And if you're if I have some people who have attended my master classes before, definitely shout out below and let people know what you learned in them, because we had a great time last time around. All right, if you've never been here before, let me just pause and say welcome. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Sarah Campbell. I am a music business coach, and I work with music studio owners and online music business owners to help them get all their systems in place and all their tech in place, and to like dig into their values and business ICAs and all that fun stuff, so that you can stop worrying about all these little things that you have to run in your business, and you can find a place in your business where you feel really authentic and awesome. And that way you can concentrate on making a difference with your students, and bringing music into people's lives. So that is what I do. And I come here every single Wednesday to go live and offer you guys business and mindset tips, and so a new type of tip that I'm starting to call awesometicity. I'm going to have to practice that word. Good morning. Hey, Tanya, nice to see you. How's everything going with your kiddos in your studio? Loved talking to you the other week. It was absolutely fabulous. Oh, she's dropping some flowers. Look at how pretty those are. Thank you so much. Yay, flowers. Okay, so let's get to the goods, guys. All right, I started thinking about this the other day. I talked to a lot of amazing business owners about social media, and how to be effective in the way that we're using it. And I some of the struggles that I see reminded me of the fact that we actually practice these concepts. The three, in my opinion, the three top reasons that our social medias don't work. There are these three practices that I like to keep top of mind. And we actually preach this stuff to our music students all the time because we talk about practice and the importance of practice, right? How many of you have been lecturing to your students in the past week if you've had a student that came in and just like they didn't have the results that you thought they might have had? And guess what? It was because of a lack of practice or a lack of effective practice. How many of you have had a conversation with one of your students about effective practice in the past 7 days? Give me a heck yes below if that's the case. I just had some major conversations with people last week about it. Oh, yay. Pete Martinez is saying, masterclass, thumbs up, do it. Thank you, Pete. Yeah, it was so fun to have you in the masterclass last time around. It was fabulous. Oh, I'm seeing lots of thumbs and hearts and likes. Yeah, guys, I get it, right? Okay, so we talk about practice all the time, and I see Barbara is like kicking in with a heck yes. So we talk about practice, right, versus performance. And I think I started, jumbling this around in my brain yesterday, trying to think about how do I want to relate this to music, because I feel like this is something that we can really chat about. Oh yeah, I'm seeing lots of heck yeses. I see Elizabeth and Anna, but they forgot. And Holly Boaz, hey Holly, nice to see you. She's saying, oh heck yes. Okay, so you guys get what I'm saying here, right? This idea of that if we don't put the practice in, we're not going to see the results. And oftentimes I think that we look at social media in a similar way, right? We think of social media more as like a performance than a practice. Now, there's a big difference between performance and practice. How do you guys explain the difference between performance and practice to your kiddos? Or your adults, sorry. I know, we teach all ages here. We've got lots of different niches. So how do you tell people that come to your studio the difference between performing and practicing? Because if if a kid goes home and they're just performing, or they're trying to perform all the time, they're going to end up coming back with results that are not so great, right? So the idea of practice versus performance, when we can apply that to social media, is kind of interesting. And here's what I was thinking about yesterday. If we think of our social media posts and keeping them consistent, and if we think about it being a performance, that puts a lot of pressure on us. So there is this tendency to not want to do it, right? If we're always performing on social media. Believe me, I get it, because I go live here every single Wednesday, and sometimes I'm a little tired, sometimes I'm a little frazzled, but I'm showing up knowing that this is a practice, right? And that I need to be consistent with it. So I have 3 tips for you guys that are pretty simple, and I think I would love to know if they resonate with you. So I've got 3 different tips. I'm going to share them real quick. We're going to go through them and with little details about how we can make this effective. And if it's resonating with you, definitely let me know. All right. So I've got 3 tips. I would love to know which one of these tips is going to be the one that you're going to focus on this week. All right. So we want to think of social media as a practice. That means it's something that we need to do, right? Now, there's different types of practices, though. If we just practice like it's going to be a performance run all the time, we're putting like a lot of pressure on ourselves, and we will have a tendency to overlook little mistakes. So we need to think about, the first thing we need to think about is effective practice. What is an effective social media practice? Well, I want you to think about how you teach effective practice to your students. If they are working on a piece or a song, what's an effective way for them to practice? Well, obviously, we start breaking things down and we look at the areas that need improvement. So I think one of the first things that we can do with effective practice in our social media is to look at the areas of our pages, that might need to be zhuzhed up a little bit and focus our time there. So we need to be effective and identify the areas of our song, of our piece, of our social media, and think, okay, well, where do I want to kind of hone in here? Where, what does my business need? Who am I talking to? There's all different ways that we can make this effective. But the biggest thing that we have to keep in mind is that we're not going to eat it all at once. We're not going to sing it all at once or play it all at once. We are going to zoom in and find that bar, find that measure, find that line that needs work. And that's where you're going to spend your time. Don't feel like you have to do the entire thing, because if you're feeling overwhelmed with keeping up with your business pages, then it's probably because you're looking at everything and not zooming in and getting super focused. So I want you to, so that's step one, right? And if this is where you're kind of struggling right now, I want you to let me know. I want you to type effective and, say effective practice. That's what you're going to hone in on this week. Oh yeah, see, Jimmy is saying, slow down, take small bits. Where's my focus? Great point. Thank you, Jimmy. That's really awesome. Hey, and if you guys are finding this helpful right now, if you know another music teacher who could benefit from this, could you let them know about this? Could you let them know right now? That would be really awesome. Okay, so I see some effective. Yeah, Elizabeth says effective down below. Yeah, so that's the first thing. We need to be effective with this. So that means not just running doing a performance run and singing the whole song or playing the whole piece. We're going to zoom in like we tell our kiddos to do, right? Well, I like saying the word kiddos today. I'm just going to rock it. All right, number 2, consistent practice. We will not be seen if we do not show up, right? Okay, so is it effective when a student walks in to their lesson and you ask them, okay, well, how was your practice? Oh, well, I practiced for 2 hours yesterday for the first time that week. Okay, so we need consistent practice, right? So if you're just showing up to your social media business pages every once in a while and you're blasting out 5 posts in a day, guys, stop. Those posts might be excellent, but don't drop them all at once, right? We need to be consistent in showing up in our social media businesses. So, making sure that we spread things out in a consistent manner so that we're showing up consistently and not just blocking all of the stuff at one time. Right? Because I think about it for a second. If you have businesses that you follow, are they, posting 25 posts in a day and then not posting anything for a week? Well, that would be super ineffective, because first off, Facebook is going to be like, that is far too many posts, and we are just not going to show these to people, because it's just not going to work with the algorithm, right? So we need to be consistent in our practice, and that is a big struggle, because I understand you are pulling lots of different strings and you're working on lots of different things. So how can we build consistency into our schedule, right? So creating a consistent practice in social media can be a really, really important thing. And I think that's that's a big thing that people struggle with. So if consistency is something that you've struggled with your studio, let me know. Yeah, see, so Holly and Deborah is also saying my biggest issue is consistency. So, all right, so we've talked about finding an effective practice, right? And zooming in and looking at the things that need to be done. And then we are talking about consistent practice. If you are not getting to the keys every day, it's not going to be, you're not going to see the results that you need. So I want, when you're thinking about your social media pages and you're feeling a little overwhelmed, I want you to think of that little piano student, right? I want you to think of that little piano student who waltzed into your studio and said, and when you asked them, did you practice? And they said, oh yeah, I practiced for 2 hours yesterday. And what ended up happening, they practiced all the wrong things. They had forgotten about the stuff that was important. They had tried to cram it all into one thing. And it just wasn't that effective, right? um, Elizabeth says, I love that I'm hearing this as I work on my Wired Wednesday versus Desired regular Tech Tuesday blog post. Ooh. Elizabeth, make sure that you share that with us. I'd love to see it. That sounds cool. All right, so the third tip for you guys today is authentic practice. Okay, so this was a bit of a stretch, but as you guys know, authenticity is like one of my top values, and that's also where I kind of got the word awesometicity, because I misspoke the other day during a broadcast, and it was kind of funny, but I like it, and I'm gonna rock it. So we're here today to talk about awesometicity, or authentic practice. How do we find this in our studios? So when we are trying to be authentic in our social media, it can feel a little bit weird at first. All right. So I want you to think about some of the pages that you follow that you really, really like. All right. So I'm talking about solopreneur businesses, not big corporation businesses. Okay. Because that's not what we're talking about here today. I want you to think about some of the solopreneurs or like music studios that are in your local area, or, maybe that you follow from afar. What is it about their posts that resonates with you? Start looking for posts that you're like, oh, that's really good. Most often, those posts tend to be really authentic. And what do I mean by that? So we are not, you're not just a piano teacher. You are not just a voice teacher. You are not just a ukulele teacher. You're you. And you need to bring that to your business. You need to bring that authentic personality to your posts, that people need to see who you are as a person. Because when we allow ourselves to put that out there, then we invite those who that resonates with to join us. And we are more likely to find the clients that we really want to work with. So it's not just about like posting and saying like, oh, I have openings like on Tuesdays or something. No, it's about saying, hey, I've got some spots open on my Tuesdays for kiddos that would love to X, Y, and Z, because those are the things that make me really, really happy as a teacher, and I would love to share those in your life. Sorry, I get excited about this stuff, guys. Authentic practice is important. Here's how I kind of related this to the idea of like practice music practice, right? We are more likely, I want you to think about the songs that I'm going to get this out of my chin. Okay. I want you to think about a student that you had recently, and you assigned them a couple of different pieces or a couple of different songs, all right? And one of those songs was something that really spoke to their soul. And another one of those songs was like just something that you knew that they needed this technical skill or something that they needed to learn. Okay. Which piece are they more likely to practice? Yeah, it's going to be that piece that really speaks to the soul, the one that they really, really love, right? Okay, so this is what we need to bring to our practice in social media. You are going to be more likely to have fun putting out those posts and to attract the people that you want to attract to your studio if you can tap in to being authentic in your business. And I know that that's scary. Trust me, I know. I have to do the scary thing every single Wednesday at noon. But you know what? Practice gets easier with time. And so those 3 things that you can dive into in your studio this week, all right? Quick recap. We have effective practice. That means honing in on the stuff that needs to be done in your studio. And if you're not sure what would be effective in your studio, that is something that I work on with people. So if you are lost and you're not sure what would be effective for your social media, I want you to let me help you. Please let me help you with that, because that is what I do. If you're lost with that, let me know. We have to all, yes, see, Laura, yeah, and Laura, you are really diving in to figuring that out, and magic things are going to happen, my friend. Okay, so then we have to be consistent with our practice. So once we've gotten like effective, when we've honed in on the things that we've done, we need to get consistent with it. And if you need help building a consistent routine, reach out, guys. Finally, the last thing is that we have to have authentic practice. And if you're struggling finding authenticity in your business, let me know. Because I can tell you what, once you tap into that authenticity, you are not going to want to leave it. You are not going to want to run your business just like somebody else's business that's down the street. Because the people that are going to show up at your door, that are going to show up in your email, show up on your phone, they're going to be the people you want to work with. So there you go. Those are my 3 social media tips. Remember, it's not a performance, it's a practice, and we get better at this the more we are consistent. All right? So if you enjoyed this today, please let me know and give me some feedback. That would be fabulous. If you would like to get a hold of today's show notes and also information about the upcoming masterclass and the pre-sale that I've got going on, definitely drop a social below and the Coach Sarah bot will be in touch with you. There's good stuff going out, my friends. And if you enjoyed this and you have a music teacher friend or an online music business friend who could benefit from this, please let them know. All right? Let them know that we were here. And remember that you can find me here on the business page every single Wednesday at noon Eastern. And I'll be here sharing more mindset and business and awesometicity your way, guys. All right. And if you need help, reach out. Let me know. This is what I do. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. It was so lovely to hang out with you all. And we will see you next time around. In the meantime, stay creative and stay you. Guys, thanks. Bye. Where's the button? Ah, there it is.